Skip it up and that up. I'm going to start this video off with admitting something kind of embarrassing. And what that's going to be is that, honestly, for, I would say, a couple years, I was teetering on being an Alex Jones fanboy. I shit you not. It started with when I got laid off from IBM. And I remember being really pissed off, thinking to myself, here's a multi-billion-dollar corporation that streamlined their business, that's making a killing selling servers, so on and so forth. Yes, that's when the economy first took a shit, and I got actually canned in 2009. They brought us all into a room and said, yep, go home, we'll give you, you'll get unemployment. Best of luck to you in an economy where you couldn't even get a job, working at McDonald's. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? How did I lose a job at IBM building their servers when their servers are their number one product? And I was laid off, and like I said, I searched for jobs and had a lot of time on my hands because I was unemployed. And a buddy of mine, still one of my closest friends to this day, my friend Sean, said to me, Rich, you really should watch Alex Jones. He's an alternative news outlet, and he talks about things that you won't hear in the mainstream media, and he reveals a lot of truths. And I'm like, okay. I heard of him before in passing, like I never really watched him, but I've seen like little clips here and there of Alex Jones. And I'm like, fine, I trust my friend Sean. I'll give Alex Jones a shot. And it was like, it blew my mind away. Everything he said to me felt like it was the truth, and hearing all the things about the economy, and he sounded so dead on about it. And I'm like, man, this guy is really on his shit. And talking about how our currency is gonna, the US currency is gonna, be worth toilet paper, and all of his other conspiracies. See, there was a time with Alex Jones, he still spewed bullshit, but there were seeds of truth to the bullshit which kept you watching. So I was enamored with Alex Jones. I would watch him, I would almost get like an adrenaline rush / panic attack watching Alex Jones, because I was scared of what he had to say. It almost became like it's almost like going on a roller coaster. Okay, you're addicted to the adrenaline rush, because it's like you feel like, oh my god, you're going down, and you're gonna get a little scared and what have you. And that's how it felt to watch Alex Jones videos. And I really got into it. And then Alex Jones started to lose me because he went on some other shit. The first time Alex Jones lost me is when if I could find the clip, I'll put it in right here. If not, you'll just see me talking still. Where remember the whole thing with the FEMA camps, how there were FEMA camps all over the United States. And then when, the government and the elites are going to make martial law because they're going to stage some attack or something to happen where people are going to panic and freak out, and they're going to come round us all up and put us in these FEMA camps. Okay. And I remember he had a video, I believe it was in 2011. Again, if I could find it, you'll see it, where he was like, ladies and gentlemen, you need to tell your friends, you need to tell your family, they're opening up the FEMA camps. They're engaging them. Something's happening. And I remember freaking the fuck out, because at the time I was still on Alex Jones' shit. So I was like, oh man, holy shit. I remember seeing the whole thing with Jesse Ventura, who I still like Jesse Ventura, by the way. I'm still a big fan of Jesse Ventura. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, this is it. We're going to be rounded up in fucking army vehicles and sent off to FEMA camps. And it never happened. And I'm like, that was a hell of a claim for him to make. Telling you to tell your family and tell your friends that those FEMA camps are opening up and shit's real. And nothing happened. I'm like, that's when the wheels started turning. And I'm like, something's fucking up with this guy, man. Something's definitely up with this guy. Then he started going into the whole thing, which really threw me off, about how mass shootings, like the Newton, Connecticut mass shooting in 2012, it wasn't real, and it was a government conspiracy, it was all made up, and it was a false flag, and if these mass shootings do happen, they're government agents, which I've talked about my issues with mass shootings before in the past. If I remember, I'll have an annotation in the video or a link below in the description, you could check it out. But what made me totally lose my shit with Alex Jones and have zero interest in him is when he had a stance against net neutrality. Now, net neutrality, without getting super technical, allows everyone to have equal opportunities on the internet. You can't be a big corporation, pay more money, get better speeds, have your websites have better access where, people have quicker access to your website, and, a smaller guy who is just starting a business, his website will have dial-up speeds, and a big corporation like Google, their website, you click on it, you have instant access. Net neutrality allows everyone to have theoretically an equal voice on the internet. So if anything, you would think Alex Jones was totally down for net neutrality, because a guy like him who's a conspiracy theorist, net neutrality will keep him in business. But no, Alex Jones had a different take on net neutrality. He looked at it as if the government was acting like the mafia, asking for protection money. You don't have to believe me. These words are right out of Alex Jones's mouth. Take a look.
Obama calls for the FCC to protect the internet. Kind of like the mafia 100 years ago in, say, New York would say, somebody burnt down a grocery store a few weeks ago because they didn't pay for insurance from the family. You might want to, ask us to come in and hire some of our people, and we'll keep an eye on the place for you and pay us 20% of what you bring in. And we'll even shut down your competition, and you'll be part of the crew. So the FCC is going to come in and protect the internet. You're going to don't make me hurt you. Break your legs. You like your daughter? So, listen to me, you little punk. You're going to do what we say. We're going to break your legs. Next, you know what we're going to do. You like living like that? Well, you're about to, okay? A nation of sheep will be ruled by wolves, and you beg on your knees to be slaves while these fat, weak cowards sit up there on television and tell you they're lying to your family and tell you they're going to break your bank and bring you under their filthy control and put you in their government housing pens to run your life and bring you down and imprison your children. And you submit to it with pleasure. Well, not me, ever.
And it was at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with Alex Jones. This guy is against something that he should actually be totally for in his business. This guy is a shill. I don't know who he's working for or what he's doing, but I don't trust him anymore. Those little seeds of truth that he throws in every once in a while to keep people reeled in, they aren't reeling me in anymore. I'm not buying it. There's something shady about this guy. And I couldn't watch him anymore. I couldn't believe him. I really didn't watch him even before his stance on net neutrality, but now I lost total respect for him after that. I lost any ounce of respect I had for Alex Jones. And throughout the years, I've made a couple videos on Alex Jones, calling him out on his bullshit. I actually made one on his net neutrality stance, but I kind of kept his name out of my mouth because honestly, his fans are some of the most crazed diehard fans. There's some great ones that I'm actually friends with. They don't agree with my stance on Alex Jones, and I still am friends with them, and they're good people. But there's a lot of them that are just, if you don't agree with everything Alex Jones says, you're their enemy. So I kind of just said, you know what, I'm not going to keep going after this guy. Well, I was going to keep that stance until his viewpoint on Carrie Fisher's death. Now, before I talk about that, I just want to say one thing. I don't take issue with people talking about death on YouTube. Look, okay, everyone does. There's been times it's been very pertinent to my channel. One of the videos that I think of was when a police officer accidentally killed a kid because she thought the Wii remote that he was holding was a gun. And I thought it was important to talk about. And, I had that video monetized. And there you go. Okay, I've done it myself. There's sometimes you have to talk about death because it's pertinent to talk about. And I don't have issues with people monetizing the videos. I know I'm going to get flack for that. I know there's people that are wholeheartedly against it. I don't understand why there's a different standard for when people on YouTube talk about it. And if a larger website talks about it, or even like the Young Turks talk about death, they don't get issue with it. But if a YouTuber talks about it, people have a problem with it. But I'm just saying, that's not my issue with Alex Jones here, that he reported on Carrie Fisher's death, okay? He monetized the video. I'm not taking any, I have no qualms with that. Where I have qualms with it, and this is what got me to click on the video, and this is where Alex Jones is smart, because this is how he gets even his detractors to watch his stuff and make him money, was his video was titled, Carrie Fisher Dead at 60, What Really Happened? Now, I'm not going to show you the whole video I'll have a link to the video below in the description as well. You can check it out. But here are some clips from it. Just take a look how he twists Carrie Fisher passing away from cardiac arrest at age 60 into a fucking baseless conspiracy theory.
Princess Leia has made the jump into hyperspace. I'm not going to kick off a conspiracy theory here.
He's not going to kick off a conspiracy theory, but he's going to kick off a conspiracy theory. That was real classy, Alex.
But you hear about star killers and different stars that say as soon as you're not big, as soon as your name isn't big, as soon as you're not making them money, whether you're a rock and roll star, a country star, or a movie star, look out, because when a big movie comes out about you or a big book, if you die, though, it'll make it incredibly valuable when that second hurrah comes around. And sometimes, basically, the mafia that's out in Hollywood will kill you.
Alex, Carrie Fisher played Princess Leia in Star Wars, one of the biggest, if not the biggest movie franchise of all time. Even if she never made another movie after her role as Princess Leia in the Star Wars movies, she's one of the most iconic actresses ever. She would still have a name that would make money. She wouldn't have to be killed for her book to sell. She's Carrie Fisher, who played Princess Leia in Star Wars. If she never acted again after the Star Wars movies, that book would still make money. What are you talking about? They don't have to fucking kill her for a book to make money. She played one of the most iconic characters in Hollywood history, you idiot. Now, somehow, because he's Alex Jones, he's tying the death of Carrie Fisher and the whole conspiracy he just made surrounding it to when Joan Rivers died, when she called out Michelle Obama for being a transsexual. As a matter of fact, here's that clip where Joan Rivers makes that announcement. Here, take a look.
Mr. Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I am so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
we
president?
already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
a transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay.
Now this, a couple years ago when Joan Rivers died, was a big thing on the internet where everyone thought that she was killed because she called out Michelle Obama for being a transsexual. Joan Rivers died at age 81. 81 years old. Let's first off, let's think about this for a second, Alex, and people who actually believe this. If, let's say, Michelle Obama, okay, truly is a transsexual. She is a man, and she has a penis that is so big that when it's erect, you could use it as a diving board to dive into a pool. And it's true. Why would the government want her killed? To make a bigger shit about it, to make all these conspiracies go around in these videos that have millions of views. Wouldn't they just ignore her and say, oh, she's a crazy 81-year-old woman. She's Joan Rivers. Just disavow it. It's not true. Why would they go through the effort of killing her to prolong the conspiracy? Because now that she died, which, spoiler alert, I don't think she died because the government killed her because she called Michelle Obama a transsexual. Her dying shortly after she made that announcement, now there's videos all trying to tie her death to her calling Michelle Obama a transsexual. And the rumor won't die. It keeps going and keeps going. Alex Jones just talked about it. And it keeps going and keeps going. Whereas if they just left her alive, it would have just died away what she said. It makes no sense, even if there is this conspiracy going on, Alex, that they would kill her. You say this about you. Oh, the government would kill me, but if they kill me, it would make me into a legend, and that's why they won't do it. So why the fuck would they do it to Joan Rivers? They would just ignore her and let it go, even if what she was saying was true. God, your conspiracies are just so half-hearted. But what scares me about Alex Jones is that he knows that they are. He knows that they're half-hearted conspiracies, and it keeps his audience reeled in and keeps him die hard about Alex Jones. Now, the other thing that scares the shit out of me about Alex Jones is not that he says crazy shit, which he does. He says insane shit. is that he's created this audience and this mechanism for InfoWars and his business that even when he makes predictions that are outrageous and not true, people still believe him. And the reason that people still believe them is because what he'll say is, I made the announcement, I called out that aliens are going to come from space and take us over, or that they're going to have South Americans come up to the United States and they're going to kill off a whole bunch of the population and have South Americans come in. When it doesn't happen, he goes, oh, it didn't happen because I called out, I predicted it, and it made the elites scared, and that's why it didn't happen. I actually have proof of that too. This is Alex Jones making ridiculous predictions. These are words coming out of his mouth with audio. Take a listen. I'm going to have 3 examples here. There's plenty more. Please listen to these, and if you want to hear even more, I'll have a link to that video below in the description. Check it out.
But I have no doubt they're going to stage big attacks, and if I had to guess, I'd say April 15th or April 19th. And I don't like to put dates on things, but that's a key zone. And one big indicator is, I know Fox, CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, HBO, and others are all producing anti-Tea Party films to air in the middle of April, to coincide with their fake terror. They are training youth corps, I'd say, to be ready in 2-3 years. They'll be ready. They'll be, the guys that are 16 are going to be 18. And they are training to go in and do seek and destroys, to go in buildings. It's in the New York Times.
Predicting exact days of terror attacks that don't happen. Saying that they're training 16-year-old kids to uphold martial law. Both those things never happen. Have you ever heard Alex Jones apologize for him? Have you ever heard him say, yeah, I made a mistake with that? No, what he always does is say that my prediction stopped it from happening, and people buy it. So he could be wrong about everything for the rest of his career because he created that fan base and he made people believe that because he called things out, that's the reason they didn't happen. He could be wrong forever now. He could be wrong forever and people will still trust him. And that is fucking scary. Now, I just have to give one more of Alex Jones's predictions. This happened in March of 2010, where some call it racism. I just call it he's a fucking lunatic, where he makes a prediction that in 15 years, remember he said it in March 2010, so, 2025, this should be happening, according to Alex, that the U.S. is going to be repopulated with Latin Americans, and Americans are going to be killed off. Take a listen.
If they get their plan fully in, 10 years after the plan's fully in place, say 5 years from now, so that's 15 years, you'll probably have about 150 million people in the country. And they're going to repopulate the U.S. with Latin Americans. I mean, I'm not joking around here, okay? They're going to kill most of you listening. And they're going to repopulate the U.S. with Latin Americans.
Now, I'll be one of the few people that are detractors of Alex Jones that will say that he has been right about stuff in the past. And that's what scares me, is because, especially when, before the financial collapse happened in 2008, he did make some calls that were pretty on point. And I think that's where he built up that really strong fan base. That's when the Alex Jones tsunami started to raise up. And people from then on, look, he predicted all this stuff. I've watched his videos where he said that he predicted that the financial collapse is going to happen. And he reeled a lot of people in with that. And there was a time where Alex Jones, he's always done insane shit. If you listen to his 1999 broadcast on New Year's Eve when he was talking about Y2K and he was saying a whole bunch of shit that never happened in that broadcast. He was straight up lying. He's always been on some other shit. But now he's just things that he says where aliens are coming down and certain people are demons is just so far-fetched, but he's reeled his audience in and they trust him so much. That's why he's become more emboldened to say crazier shit, because he can. And the way he does it is so convincing and so entertaining. That's why his audience stays no matter what. And that's why they're so diehard to the point that when I even mentioned that I was making this video, I received indirect threats via email saying that they were going to try to defame me and my family because I was making this video. Because how dare I question their supreme leader, Alex Jones. But I also owe an apology as I make this video too. When I first saw his video on Carrie Fisher, I became very pissed off because he tried to throw a conspiracy in with her death. And yes, I know that Carrie Fisher's mother died as well, and I'm sure that people are going to bring those both together. Even though I could say one thing, I had a personal family friend die. He was my father's friend, And when his mother-in-law found out that he passed away, she went into shock, collapsed, hit her head while she was in the shower, and she died too. So that's actually a fairly not common thing to happen, but having a parent die or a relative or a loved one die because someone else passes away because they're dealing with so much stress isn't that far-fetched. But I know a lot of people are going to bring that up in my face. But anyway, I got off topic again. One thing I got to apologize to is the people that are fans of Alex Jones, that are rational, that will be like, Rich, I love, I respect you. I appreciate what you do, but I'm totally disagree with you on Alex Jones. I trust what he says. To you guys who are respectful about it, I owe you an apology. I went off on a tangent on Twitter the other day, and I was being a dick. One person I think of that I'm actually friends with on Twitter, he's a good guy. He loves Alex Jones. He agrees with him. He disagrees with me, but we could still talk civil. One promise I always made and I have to stick to is I will never consider anyone an enemy for having a differing opinion than me. If you threaten me and come after me because you don't like my opinion, you're an asshole, and I'm not apologizing to you guys. But if you disagree with me, I was disappointed that I kind of was condescending and being a dick. That was uncalled for. But I need you, everyone out there, especially with how fast information could spread now, and that's why Alex Jones' popularity is surging, and now with Trump being in office too, and he was a big Trump supporter, that's helping him too. When you don't trust anybody. Actually, start with this. Don't trust anybody. Don't trust me. Don't trust Alex Jones. Don't trust CNN. Don't trust the Young Turks. Don't trust Kyle Kuklinski. Don't trust anybody. Find a story. If you hear a story from Alex Jones, you hear a story from me, you hear a story from whoever, take 5 minutes to look into that story to find the truth. Take the 5 minutes to Google it and look up some other stuff that may not be the front page articles. What annoys me is that you'll hear so many people say, I don't have the time to do that, but yet they'll spend the time spreading it all over social media. They'll sit there and put it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever the fuck else they'll put it, and they'll spread that misinformation. No problem. They'll take the 5 to 10 minutes to do that. But telling them to take the 5 to 10 minutes to look if the information they're spreading is true or lies is too much. And that's what's making the news dangerous right now. I'm not saying what's fake news. I'm not saying what's real news. I'm not suggesting you to watch anybody because I don't want to color this video, and I don't want to make you think that I have a bias, because I know a lot of people say, oh, Rich, you're a Young Turks dick rider. You would never call them out. Have you looked through my videos before? I suggest you do. I've called them out a few times, actually. I think I may have called them out more than Alex Jones, or at least the same amount. So be objective. Don't be a fan of anybody. Don't be a fan of Alex Jones. Don't be a fan of the Young Turks. Don't be a fan of CNN. Don't be a fan of Fox. Don't be a fan of, I don't think, is anybody a fan of Glenn Beck? Take the few minutes a day to research something that you see. I know plenty of people, I even have family members who piss me off that are more than happy to put up fake fucking news on Facebook, and they'll spread it all over. But I've told them, did you fact check this at all? And those, I don't have time for that, but yet they had time to post that article in 20 different places. Finding out the truth with how fast information can spread now is crucial, because the saying the pen is mightier than the sword, especially in the information age that we live in, couldn't be any more true, because spreading misinformation could cause lives to be ruined and lives to be taken. People get very impassioned about this, and we're living in a very, very dangerous political environment right now. Take the couple extra minutes to research what you see and what you read before you just spread it like wildfire, because you could be spreading something that's not true and very dangerous. And this is why I hate Alex Jones. I'm not saying he's been wrong about everything, but I know the man willingly spreads misinformation, and what he's doing is very detrimental to this country and detrimental to the world. Wake up, pay attention, and trust no one. Do your own damn research. This is Richard Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.